Good Thursday afternoon to you all. I think you probably can figure out where we are very quickly. I'll pull back a little bit. Maybe you can figure out a little more. That's right. This week we're coming to you from the outdoor chapel here at the Roxbury Church. And want to talk to you about what it means to be outside. The chapel here was built at least 10 years ago by William Georgia, one of our Eagle Scout candidates, as part of his Eagle Scout project. And it has fallen kind of into needs some help with cleaning up around it. It's gotten a little bit overgrown, and it was a nice gesture by Mr. Georgia to build this for us, as he came to us for an idea. And we always thought about it'd be great to have an outdoor chapel, and it wasn't too bad, except for one thing, and that is that, let me turn around here. You can see that the elevation is such that when people went to sit here at the benches, they would sit down, and in essence they had to look up to the pulpit. So most people spent most of their time looking up. Maybe it's good. It kind of gets us to look up to God. Personally, I don't like to be in that kind of high elevated position. It's kind of something against who I am, but it gives us this sense of outdoors, and I like being outdoors like this. Our thought is, for our first couple of times of being back together for worship, that we would be outdoors at least 2, maybe 3 weeks. And while we're not going to use this space here, we're going to use the flat space out in front of the church by the chapel. This is a nice space. And one of the beauties about being in an outdoor space, it gives us a chance to contemplate God's created order, the nature that is all around us, surrounding us. It allows us to be able to pause, and in the stillness and quiet can listen and meditate and hear all that surrounds us, the intricacies of life, whether it's the birds, the babbling stream, the gentle breezes, or the sounds of maybe children or horses that are by, or the insects like that bee that just buzzed my head. It gives us the ability to pause and think about that. Also, being outdoors helps us to remember that we are caretakers. We do not own the outdoors. We are merely caretakers. We are stewards. We have stewardship over the land, so that we might take good care of it and hand it on to future generations. It is quite a beautiful view back here. Get to look at the back of the parish house here. And one of the things I want to tell you, just a kind of I know people like this historical stuff. When this parish house was built in 1988, 89, that over that year, 89 was when we first moved in. One of the things we found out was that the federal flood zone runs down this brook, the Roxbury Brook, or Fen Brook, it's also known as. That the back of the old chapel and the parish house, right down the middle of it, is where the flood zone ends. So one of the unique and interesting things about this building is that the front part of the building, the front half of the building, parallel to Church Street, is on a solid foundation. And the back part is on piers, built on piers, and has these, what they're calling breakaway walls, so that if there was a major flood, the water would push those boards open, and the water would not be held back, but be able to flow right down through. And that did play out once, actually more than once, but one dramatic time when the brook here came up very, very high. The water went right underneath the building, And the fun part was that on the opposite end, by the church parking lot, washed out was some of the beer cans from the workers when they built this building back in the 80s. They, I'm sure at the end of a long hot day, it was the summertime, they might have dropped a couple of cans down, and the water washed those beer cans out into the parking lot for us to discover years later. But it does give us a great metaphor about having firm foundations, but yet piers, for us to be able to be grounded, but yet be able to be above and kind of have a larger view, a 5,000 foot view, if you will. Because we all see life in just where we are right now. We see the world, the created world, the nature that's around us right here. But we also need to have, if we are to be good stewards, is to have a larger view. A larger view, a 5,000 foot view, where we can look down and be able to see where maybe our actions need to be coordinated or interact with other persons or ecosystems, whatever they may be. And having this kind of building like this kind of is a subtle visual reminder that we do have a grounding, but yet we are also on a pier where we get to stand up and watch some of life float by, and to be able to have that tension, if you will, between the two. So we gather out here on a sunny Sunday morning, hopefully, and gather and worship the God that loves us and gives us that grounding. But we also come very aware that we are just one part of God's ecology, one part of the ecosystem that involves life. So I hope you will join us again. I intend on, even though I'm on vacation this month, I love doing these. And I've gotten some great feedback from you folks. So I'm going to continue to do it on Thursdays. It's kind of a good creative thing for me. And so tune in next Thursday, and let's see where I'm going to end up next week. We'll see if you can guess. Have a wonderful week. Blessings to you on the journey. And remember, foundations and piers.